Hi everyone, I want to share with you how to document the resources for this essay. And the first thing you want to do is come to the libraries and you want to look up how to find MLA and APA documentation. For our class we're going to be using MLA. In other classes they use APA, and I'm swinging over to MLA Citations for electronic sources. So this is a list of all of the databases that you could possibly use. And so I already found an article from the Orlando Sentinel, which is right here. And I put in some search terms and I found some articles. So I'm going to let that load. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you another website called Friends of Lake Apopka. So maybe I did my research paper on the Friends of Lake Apopka, and I need to document this website. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the library databases and websites for MLA documentation. And I'm scrolling all the way down to websites and other electronic sources. And I'm going to select entire website, not article, but the entire thing, so that no matter where I go on their website, whether I'm watching a video or reading an annual report, whatever I click on, it doesn't matter. It's all coming from the same website, Friends of Lake Apopka. So I am citing entire website. And when I click down here, I don't have an editor of this website. Usually they don't. So I would go to the next thing, which is website title. And so the website title is Friends of Lake Apopka, and that would be in italics. Now the publishers are at the bottom, and usually they're next to some kind of copyright, and that tells me that they are the people who are publishing their own stuff, which is usually what happens. So it's going to be written twice, but this time it will not be in italics. Sometimes there's a date of publication, sometimes several. You would want the most recent date. They do not have any copyright year. So for here I would put ND for no date. And then the URL is of their home page, so it would be friendsoflakeapopka.org, and that's what would go right here. Notice that this part is indented. So whatever's on the second line, that's what gets indented. So that's how you would cite the source, and the way to quote it in your essay is whatever is first here goes here. So it's friends of, because that's Friends of Lake Apopka. So I'd put friends of. This would be italics, this would be in quote marks. Okay, so just following the guide, and it tells you how to do it, and it labels every part, and you find that all from their website and looking at all the areas that you need to get that dealt with all these sections. Now, when it comes to a database, it's much different. Every database has very different formats. So depending on which one you use will determine which kind of format. So for this one, I have Lake Apopka's Magic Bullet, and this is a machine they're going to use to treat the lake to remove some pollutants, which is fabulous. It's been broken for quite some time, and it was really helping with clearing up the lake from pollution and fertilizers. So what I'm doing here is I'm using Orlando Sentinel, so I'm going to go to Orlando Sentinel to find out the format. Now there are many different pieces to this, but if you take your time you'll find out. Using Citation Machine or EasyBib or automated systems are not going to work. And even here where it says cite this source, that will also be oftentimes not correct. So the only foolproof method is to use the system. And it's not that tricky. All you really want to do is follow the format. So the format in this case, I only have one author, but it gives you a couple of examples if there's more than one author, or I can show you what to do if there's more than one author. This one's giving letter to the editor. That's not what we're looking at. what we're looking at is a normal newspaper article. It'd be the first one. And so I would get all this information. So there's Kevin Spear, so it would be Spear Kevin. And then the title of the article, which is right up here. And I would only go to the dash. I don't need to type the full byline, just the very first major heading. And then, of course, the Orlando Sentinel. Notice how it's written here. That's not going to be the way you type it. You have to reformat it to say Orlando Sentinel, just as the format tells you here. And then the date of publication, which you would find right up here. And then the page number would go right here. So that would be next. And then it came from Newsbank. EasyBib and Citation Machine would not tell you that the database is Newsbank. So you wouldn't know. You would put Orlando Sentinel, but really the database is Newsbank. And then it's the entire URL. So you would copy this and paste it, and then you accessed it on a specific date. Now, in order to do the citations in your essay, you're just going to pick whatever's first here. And in this case, it would be the author's name, and then you would put the page, which would be A1. So it would be Spear A1. And that's how I know that the quotes in your essay are coming from this source, right? So you're just getting all the information from the top here and just plugging it into the format here. It's not that difficult. You just have to follow the guide. And the library has done a wonderful job of color coding this so that it's easy for you to see all of the parts. Please note that this is in quote marks, this is in italics, this is in italics, that it's formatted, this is all the way to the left, these are all the way to the right, and you would alphabetize each of your entries as you go. I hope this really helped, and if you have any questions with MLA, of course you can ask me, a librarian, a tutor. All of us are willing to help you get this right, and it's for academic integrity, so I hope you spend the time doing this correctly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.